Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the book Refuge and welcome to my most anticipated reads of 2022. So just a couple things before we start, because of course I always have to have something to share before we start. Number one, I wasn't going to make this video, and it's not because I don't have books that are anticipated, but for two reasons. One, most of the books that I'm anticipating, which you'll see, are indie published authors, and there's two things that can happen. One, sometimes authors don't put out their release dates far enough ahead for me to put them in this. And number two, sometimes they get moved a lot. Their books get moved around all the time, and so sometimes it's hard to make these. And so I wasn't going to make this video because I kind of do this monthly. Like with my TBRs each month, I put my most anticipated reads that I'm going to read that month. But I know a lot of other people are making this video, and you know, I'm always up for content ideas. When you make 4 videos a week, it's helpful when people tell you what they want to see. And there's another video that I'm filming tonight, which was like a hot topic Q&A. And one person asked me, they're like, are you going to tell us your most anticipated books? And so I thought I would do a full video. So what I have here basically is, except for one of the books I'm going to share, these are my most anticipated that I know about currently, that I plan to read them, and that they're coming out between January and June. So I'll probably do an updated one of these partway into the year, you know, as more books gets announced. That's the thing too. A lot of my favorite authors, they haven't even announced books that will be coming out later in the year, you know, so we're just going to go with that. And then I'm going to try not to talk about these books too much. I know I say that every time, but we're just going to I'm going to tell you why I'm excited for it and share with you. So let's go ahead. And these aren't, they kind of go month by month, because that's how I was looking for it. But I'm not going to put up the date for each of these because they might move. Like I said, they might move. But starting with kind of January and working our way through, here we go. So Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. There's still no cover for this yet. I think it's coming soon. I'm part of her, I'm part of the ARC team that she's like working with, so I'm hoping we'll have the cover to announce soon. But I'm very excited. This is going to be book 3 in her Twisted series. I've loved both Twisted Love and Twisted Games and Twisted Hate. Very intrigued by this one. Y'all know Monroe is coming out soon. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Robert Peckoff will be back to do the audio. I'm so happy that Kresley Cole is in, you know, like a healthy and happy enough place that she's able to continue writing, and that she's going to be going completely indie from now on. So, you know, that could be a good thing. She definitely has a big enough fan base that hopefully, you know, not being with her publisher will be a good thing, you know, because hopefully she'll get to keep more of her money for what she does, because damn, the woman is talented. We know it. Headcase by Onley James. This may be a moving release date too. That's why I won't say when it is. But this will be book 4 in the Necessary Evil series. I really could have listed all the rest of the books in this series because they're supposed to come out in 2022. But we'll just start with Headcase. This one is supposed to be one of the twins. And I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Saga number 55 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Stapleton. I know, this one's out of the blue, right? But I've actually read all the issues of Saga. I blew through those, I think, back in 2019, which was when there was a pause. Like, they took a pause at, like, the worst place ever. And I'm nervous because this says it's the beginning of a new story arc, and they left us with a fucking cliffhanger at the end of the last one. So I'm like, you better explain yourself to me before you start this new story arc, okay? Okay? House of Salt... Oh, Salt and Bones. House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I doubt this one is a surprise. I love Crescent City. I love it so dearly. I love Sarah J. Maas. I'm rereading A Court of Silver Flames right now for my favorites of the year, and I'm just so impressed with how much she's grown and where she's going. And also, she has a lot to deliver with Sky and Breath. This world is large, and she spent a lot of time setting stuff up. And I wasn't annoyed with it because I really loved the world in Crescent City. Like, I really did. The audiobook was amazing. I enjoyed myself so much. But there was a lot that was set up, and I hope that it's going to all play out. Like, it's going to be worth all that time we spent building up, and that we're just going to hit with this one and just go. So we'll see. The Demon Tide by Lori Forrest. dedicated viewers will know I absolutely love The Black Witch, and I love The Black Witch Chronicles. The Black Witch is a book where it had like a lot of harsh reviews because a lot of people said that it was like, oh, this main character is racist, this world is horrible, it points out all these awful things, and it kind of surprised me that was people's reactions because, yeah, that's the point of the book, is that the witches in it are racist. That is the allegory of the witches being racist against all other kinds of magical beings, and how our heroine, who was raised in that racism, meets people who are of these different races and realizes, wow, everything I've learned is evil and wrong. How else are we supposed to learn to change and grow? You know, I'm like, literally that's what Laurie Force is doing with this series, is someone who is raised with all the privilege possible. She is the daughter and granddaughter of the greatest power in the land, realizes that just because she has the power and her family has the power and her people have the power, that it is wrong. And the things that she does, the group of people she brings around her to defeat it, is amazing. Sorry I randomly went on a rant on that, but I just remember how much controversy there was when I was falling for those books. The first 3 books are out. I believe The Demon Tide is supposed to be the last one, and I love them. Oh my god, I love it so much, what the author was doing. And these are kind of new adult written. The 3rd book had a lot of sexy times in it, but it still is more YA than I usually read anymore. But this is an author I will go back to YA for, because I love the story that she's telling. Absolutely. The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. This is going to be the first in her monster fucking series she's doing. She put out a short story. If you're part of her Patreon, there was a short story. And also in Queen, which came out the beginning of December, we get to see where the crossover from her vampire series is going to lead into this monster series. And it's basically like there's an auction, and like these monsters can like buy a certain amount of years from you. It's gonna be amazing. How to Be a Wallflower by Eloisa James. I know nothing about this series. I'm very excited to read it. I love Eloisa James. I've read every book she's ever written, mostly. There's some anthologies that I haven't read. And I can't wait for this one. Tough Luck by Annabeth Albert. I've loved the first 2 books in this series. This one doesn't even have a cover yet, but I loved Sailor Proof, and I've read an arc for Sink or Swim, so when Tough Luck comes out, you better believe I'm going to hop on top of that. I want it. I want it. We just found out the day that I'm making this, so I'm allowed to. This is part of the reason I was waiting if I was going to film this video. This is part of it. The Savage by Sophie Lark is coming in March. And this is, it actually comes out just 2 days before my birthday, so happy birthday to me. And this is going to be a, kind of continuing with Kingmakers, not really, maybe sort of. There'll be some overlap with it, but I believe Sophie said it's going to, like, most of it's going to take place outside of Kingmakers. But it will have characters from, Kingmakers and from, the Underworld series. So very excited for this book and that we can talk about it now. I'm so excited. Then Unmasked by Paul Holes. So stop. This is completely outside, like not even just saying like YA fantasy romance or something. This is a true crime book, and it's kind of like an autobiography of Paul Holes. So if you didn't know this, I don't talk about it a ton. I'm actually a huge fan of true crime. Like the podcast that I listen to romance stuff and true crime. That is what I listen to. I don't love reading romantic suspense, so I'm not asking for Rex and that. I've tried them before. It's not what I want. But I very much love diving into true crime, and specifically the people who catch true crime doers. And Paul Holes is one of my heroes. He helped to unmask the Golden State Killer, who was a prolific rapist and murderer for 30 years, for 3 decades. And he was caught in 2016, I think. And I remember just following along with all of that and just being so amazed that using DNA technology, they were able to find this man who had terrorized California for 30 years. So I very much want to read Paul Holz's book, just about his life. I listened to his podcast with Billy. It's called, shit, I just forgot what it's called, but I literally listen to it every Monday morning. So whatever. I am very interested in it. So this is a random one to throw in there that I'm very much looking forward to reading. So I'll probably get that one on audio because I believe that he's doing the narration for it. So I'm very interested. I've actually read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is the book by Michelle McNamara. And I've read Billy's book too, which was about how he used like social media to help solve cold cases and stuff, which I absolutely love. So yeah, so A Dance of Smoke and Steel by Milla Vane. So this is one that this book has been moved around for 2.5 years now. Is it that long? I don't know, but it's a long time. So I'm not holding my breath that we'll get this when it says. From what I've seen, like, I think Milla Vane's having some trouble pulling this one together. So this one keeps being on most anticipated books, and I'm here to tell you that whenever this comes out, if it's 2022 or it's 2025, it will still be one of my most anticipated books. And when I finally get my little grubby hands on it, I will tell you about it. So, The Company of Fiends by Catherine Moon. This is another one that has moved around a couple times, and I'm kind of sad about it. But this will be the follow-up to A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor. It's going to be about a different reverse harem, one that involves the theater that we are shown. There's this sexy theater in The Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, and I'm very excited to see more about the monsters who work there and who will be in that harem. I'm very excited. It's really only the only reverse harem series that I'm like excited to read, but I'm very excited for it. Crying Wolf by Kerrigan Byrne. This will be another book in her Good Girl series. Whenever that one comes out, I'm excited for it. Phoebe by Minerva Spencer. This is going to be a spin-off from her Rebels of the Ton. I'm excited. I'm going to read everything by Minerva Spencer because I just love her mix of sexiness and awesomeness. So then I want to mention, we just got this announcement for Serena Ackroyd too, and these are the ones where I said there's going to be one book from December. So Filthy King by Serena Ackroyd is supposed to come out in June, and then she did also announce, because if you are reading the Filthy series, the Filthy Fecker series, you know that there's only one brother who doesn't have a partner yet. I mean, we know who his partner is, but who hasn't had a book yet. And Filthy King, just based on the title, it was not going to be that brother who was getting book number 7. So then we were like, I thought book number 7 was going to be the last book, but it can't be if not all the brothers get a book. And like she said when she was on my show, she was on my channel, every brother is going to get a book. And it's true, because Filthy King is going to be book 7, but Filthy Feck, which will be the final book and will wrap up, I believe, the entire the MC series and the Filthy Feckers, and that will come out next December. So it's a whole year away from now, but it will be a most anticipated read for 2022. And then the last one I want to mention, which is in June, will be Brutal Vows by J.T. Geisinger. And you had to know that this one was going to be on here, because any books that come out in the Queens and Monsters series, I want them in my hands. So, all right, there we go. I actually didn't take too long. I'm really proud of myself. So yeah, those are the books so far that I know about that I'll be anticipating for 2022. So please down below let me know if you agree with any of these or other books you are. I'm sure I didn't get them all. Another reason it's tough to put these together is it's like, you know, this is only 15 books and I know there's more books coming out next year that I'll be excited for. So tell me which ones you're excited for. Tell me if you agree with any of mine. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.